later on in the final. But Relic, we are here for the semi-final. Game number 1, let's get it underway.
Certainly. Team 2 up against CAUZ. No surprises as to how they came up with that name, but a big surprise on the fact that not only did they score first, but within the first 10 seconds at that.
And SIMAS has not had to do much except drive in a straight line, because he's got the henchmen of OSCILLON and CARCA, the bodyguards some may say, to just take out the defender and say, no, you will not make a save right now.
Gotta feel good. Evicted from the house. That is Team 2 within the last couple of weeks, and immediately getting one on the board with his new partners in CARCA and the ever-experienced OSCILLON. But here's MARCBY8 driving into the center. RIZEX waits near the midway line, and he drives now towards that himself, trying to break through OSCILLON. MARCBY8 gets that on target. The defense ripped apart, 1-1.
It was a good sign for CAUZ getting that first goal of the game, but with double commits on the goal line, they will get quickly punished by MARCBY8 and RIZEX working so well together. We saw in that last series, Relic, that Team 2 were looking like a solid team and making really good kind of plays together and not just relying on individual skill, which is what we see from a lot of pickup teams in a lot of tournaments. Individual skill usually trumps it, but teamwork has been a key part to Team 2's success.
Honestly as well, this team, to me at least, works best when they are in complete control of the midfield. They don't need an exaggerated scoreline or anything, they just need the overall momentum to be in their favor, and that was certainly lost a couple of times against OK, let's do it. But CAUZ are going to have to work hard here. I mean, goodness, as if that isn't already obvious after going 1-0 up, to see MARCBY8 at the center of all the plays right in front of their own net. It's a warning shot, and now they've got to adapt to it.
Good save there by MARCBY8. The experienced player, one of the best to ever do it. People wondering kind of where he's gone now, and he's still chugging along, still trying to make it back to that kind of old home at the top of Rocket League.
Oh, very nice.
With TEHQOZ and RIZEX by his side, it is MARCBY8 who has his shooting boots on, and a great goal to find the lead for Team 2.
Rocket League players are a selfish sort. You are expecting TEHQOZ to take that shot every day of the week. But no, passes it over to MARCBY8, who has a much wider shooting angle to work with. And the great thing is that, again, he's a natural striker. Not out and out anymore, but a natural striker. And he finds that far shot with not the best accuracy, but enough power at least to get this go-ahead goal.
MARCBY8 getting involved once again. If OSCILLON and SIMAS getting a little bit too close to each other for my comfort, they're going to lose possession of a double commit. MARCBY8 to TEHQOZ. Going to sit and let that ball linger in front of net, but RIZEX cannot get involved in time. All the way back to the corner it will go. But RIZEX has free reign, unchallenged for quite some time. SIMAS will get a slight touch onto his car, but it won't cause too much damage because the defense is recuperated. They've got plenty of boost, and an easy clear for TEHQOZ, if not carefully dealt with, could result in a very strong attack for Team 2. Luckily, SIMAS in a class act and gets that ball away with absolute ease.
OSCILLON, oh. Saw two players in front of him, maybe got a little spooked. CARCA to SIMAS. MARCBY8 gets enough of it to find its way over to RIZEX. SIMAS taking out TEHQOZ, so the defense one light as the Arsenal is reloaded here, although not for too long, a bit of a misfire. Back to CARCA, who takes it skyward. TEHQOZ now meets him in the air. Here's MARCBY8, that's on target. Dealt with by SIMAS. OSCILLON ends up with him again as he lost possession. MARCBY8 right in their faces. And we'll come to a bit of loggerheads here. 2 minutes left. And the odd demo here or there breaking up any attack for either side. Oh, maybe not by his ball.
I have not been convinced just yet by CAUZ. They're making a lot of mistakes that is going to be the death of a lot of teams in these events, of double commits and kind of not trusting each other on the ball. Even there, all three of them are just at that sidewall, and of course only one did go for it by the end. But positioning is just not up to par for what we need to see from a team contending for top 2, and they've got to try and figure it out as this game continues and games 2, 3, and hopefully for them 4 and 5 come their way, because at the moment the positioning and the communication does not seem up to the standard of a tournament winning team, and that's going to be their biggest roadblock, because individually they're all great players. I would even argue that in terms of individual skill, this team overall trumps Team 2, but they're just not doing the teamwork well. They're just not collaborating, they're playing individually, and they're getting punished for it because it's another goal right for RIZEX.
Boyo holding on to his money back guarantee. I'm inclined to hold on to that very same bit of paper because in order to guarantee the money, you gotta play a bit better than that. Unconvincing is most certainly the word, and CARCA, architects of their own downfall as it stands. We saw the positives of a good midfield presence with okay, let's go. There's not been as much of that here, and Team 2 certainly enjoying, I'm not going to say an easier ride, but a ride where the answers to the questions are a little more obvious.
SIMAS will get it past one, but unable to find that connection off to a teammate. CARCA will get the connection, but off the post, banking their lucky stars, so that's not a goal. It's SIMAS to also on now to try and develop a counter-attack. With nothing being found, just a save by MARCBY8. It is RIZEX to take it upfield, deny, but look at that. A teammate is in position ready to help on out. Even with RIZEX missing that touch, look how quick TEHQOZ and MARCBY8 get into the action and try and make up for that mistake, not letting it get punished. That is the foundation of a good team, and that is the foundation of a team that can win events.
Holding on to the ball beautifully, even out of possession. These challenges well timed, and burning that all-important number that has counted down to 1 and awaits the spherical thing to hit the flatness of the ground. It does, and Team 2 looking good. But they didn't have to be spectacular, Boyo.
They didn't have to look better, and that's a very good point. How good can they get? Well, we've seen a little bit of that in that last series, but can they do better when they have to? I would hope so, because they have been great, but they can be so much better, and of course they'll probably have to be so much better if they so make the grand final. But CARCA need to start challenging them more. CARCA have to put more of a fight in. 3 shots for CARCA to these 7 for Team 2. It was not a match. It was a pummeling for most of that game, other than the first 30 seconds, really.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say that it was necessarily a pummeling, though. I think that both sides took their chances well. Clearly, the team with the more chances overall ends up winning it. That's usually how things go in this esports. But for me, it was the composure, especially in the transitional phases and especially on the defensive side of things, that gave Team 2 an edge. Very little going in the way offensively because of how good they were defensively, besides from the first 10 seconds, of course. That kickoff goal, quite literally a game away.
I think the only reason I argued it was a pummeling is for something similar to this. It seemed like a lot of the time, when Team 2 were needing or hunting for a goal, CARCA couldn't do too much about it. They were kind of just scrambling around, and of course the game did only end 3-1 last time around, but that's only because it didn't have to be any better. And I think that's a key distinction to make. A lot of teams will, rightfully so, play it safe when they've got that kind of 2-goal lead and just win the game. They don't have to exert themselves more to find more goals. The defense is looking really solid for Team 2 after a great save just came out from RIZEX. SIMAS will try for a shot on goal. Another good save by RIZEX. A double commit cleaned up by MARCBY8 being in a good position. A pinch out of net as well. Nothing is getting past this Team 2 defense relic.
Yeah, when you look at the opponent's defense, it's a really good sign to say that you've manufactured your own escape. When your jailers are having to let you out of your own prison cell, that's when you're starting to worry. And that's what it feels like time and time again, because they are let out because Team 2 has decided or ultimately run out of ideas and they have to reset, or they've run out of boost and they have to go back. They naturally have to play more conservative to serve them better in the long run.
MARCBY8 going to get pushed off that wall, but in comes a flying RIZEX. Flying for the skies, uninterrupted for a moment, but here comes CARCA.
Oh.
A fake out by RIZEX, passes down to MARCBY8. TEHQOZ's shot will not be found. Oson, a free run upfield, but with no teammates to help him out. He runs face first into RIZEX. The ball drops down for SIMAS now. Finally, a good chance on net. But once again, the brick wall of Team 2, more importantly, RIZEX, has thwarted the attempts of CARCA.
Don't mind me quoting you, but to say that they had no teammates supporting them is wild when all 3 teammates, also when all 2 teammates, I should say, were also in the final third of the pitch. Miscommunication on defense sure, okay, you're going to concede a couple of goals. Miscommunication in the final third when you are needing to score is downright criminal, and they got 3 minutes to try and sort it out. Otherwise, this game's going to go very much the same way as our first encounter.
The impact of RIZEX in this game cannot be understated. He's already made 3 saves. He's already making so many chances for his team. Even there, with that shot getting saved, that's okay because MARCBY8 is already in the position to continue the offense. RIZEX will get on that ball, but he knows he'll get TEHQOZ behind to take over. And that rotation is so fluid, it's working so well that these mistakes aren't mistakes, they're setting up potential chances. And RIZEX showing a prime example as he slams the ball to the crossbar and finds a great goal to go alongside it.
All the beauty of a Sakura Rose. How about that for pinpoint precision? In off the bar, down, but the only way their score is going up 2-0, just shy of half-time. Come and gone, and as I say, things keep on getting better and better for Team 2, and CARCA have been well and truly snuffed. That's a great opportunity, but again, as you say, it's a great save, and MARCBY8's not the only one to have made one today.
I mean, really, tell me here, when is it easiest to make a save like that? When the ball's coming at you in a straight line. When the ball's coming from exactly where you expect it to come from. That is the issue that CARCA are having. Good saves are having to be made, but these saves are only possible because the shot can be read. There's nothing kind of creative being done. There's no attempted bumps, no attempted demos, no passes being made in that attacking front. It's player gets a ball, has an opening, and shoots it on net. And then RIZEX or MARCBY8 for this game have just jumped for the ball and made a good save. They can't make those saves if you're making it difficult for them. You've got to get more creative if you want to try and interrupt this defense.
Lacking inspiration. Could learn a thing or two from a certain role-playing game, but there's no dice to roll here. You've got to make your own luck. Becoming a theme today, most certainly. 60 seconds left. Chances will be at a premium, especially when stuff like this happens. Demo on the far side, but that's not even the worst of it. RIZEX schooling his opposition.
The ball rolls, and unfortunately for CARCA, they rolled a 3. 3 goes to Team 2. It's not looking good for the orange side.
It's not.
How many goals is that unanswered now? They got the first in the last game, then they conceded 3, now they conceded another 3. That's 6 unanswered goals in the last, about, what, 4.5 minutes? No, 9.5 minutes, sorry. Almost. They're not finding offense. They're not finding any chances on net. And when they do, they're just not doing anything interesting with it. They're just giving it away. They're saying, here, stat pad, take that save, get those points on the board.
Not even Van Gogh, I think, would be able to save this equivalent of watching paint dry in the offense. I'm honestly quite surprised that it hasn't sent Team 2 to sleep. Even a couple of demos here or there have been mere footnotes in this series, which has honestly produced very little for CARCA. All of their good work up until this point becoming undone. And Team 2 looking every bit as comfortable as the first seed really should. Match point.
Match point. Huge props there to RIZEX for what he did on that team. 3 goals and 3 saves. Of course he didn't, you know, he could have let his teammates get involved a little bit more. He didn't have to do everything, but he did, and he did a great job at that as well. And understandably so, top of the score where he deserves. But CARCA have got a lot to figure out. Coming into this next game, they have to get their thinking caps on because something's not working, and we're pretty certain we know what it is. But have they figured it out, and do they have the tools necessary to fix those issues?
That's kind of it, though. It's multiple problems all at the same time.
Yep.
And trying to figure out which one to prioritize, that is difficult. It's where coaches earn a lot of their keep, honestly, is being able to direct players in the right direction to at least give them some semblance of where the bottom of the ladder is. And from there, they can start to climb up, no matter how dark the environment around them might be. I'm worried about CARCA in this setup. I can't remember calling out his name over the last 10 minutes of gameplay. OSCILLON,
Yeah.
of course, has been here or there, perhaps the most present over the entirety of the field. SIMAS had that bright moment at the beginning of game 1, has gone very quiet since. They're lacking offense, defensive composure, also very much out at sea. Rough waves, can they survive them?
Please, oh please, just stop the double commits in net. It is stressing me out beyond belief every time I watch them. A good chance here for CARCA to make a play happen, as he brings it into centre, a teammate not to be found. Then MARCBY8, caught it by SIMAS and trying to get a dunk on the TEHQOZ touch. But RIZEX, he positioned so well to receive that pass. Now look at the bump from TEHQOZ, disrupting the defense. A risky save had to be made by OSCILLON. A demo now found as well, means that TEHQOZ can continue the offense, continue the attack. CARCA will wait on that back wall, trying to get a clearance away. But like sharks circling their prey, it is just absolute carnage. And this back line is Team 2. Don't give a chance for CARCA to breathe.
It's far too slow on the transitional play. Quite the contrast to Team 2, who take mere seconds to find themselves at the enemy backboard. RIZEX looking for anybody really to feed off this pass, finds MARCBY8, who gets a decent shot away, but that was always heading woodwork bound. SIMAS basically just throws it as far into the blue half as possible. CARCA gets a demo on RIZEX, but look at this, TEHQOZ relieving that pressure immediately, giving time to RIZEX not just to respawn, but MARCBY8 to hold it up. Okay, still 0-0, but the fact that they're at 0-0, they're in so much control, there's so much confidence, it was only inevitable.
No, they pretty much had no players on the field. A big demo on the defender there. CARCA's already out of the game. It's all left to OSCILLON in a 1 versus 3, and he is not winning that. A goal found for Team 2 to once again put them up in the lead.
Cool shot as well from RIZEX as TEHQOZ wins that challenge. A little bit too far wide. What about RIZEX? Dispossessed by OSCILLON. TEHQOZ ready to step in, but that's loose. CARCA to SIMAS, straight towards net. Easy enough for RIZEX to save, although had to readjust quite acrobatically. MARCBY8. That is unfortunate.
With the best goal of the match. That may just be what a beautiful pinch it was by Mark and CARCA. But it wasn't supposed to go that way. Sorry to tell you, CARCA, that's an own goal, or I guess not really, but it's a second goal for Team 2 nonetheless, and that's what's most important.
Not the first pinch goal that MARCBY8 has had off a opposition player today as well.
He's collecting them.
Is it just luck, or is there a real giga brain inside that head of his? Well,
maybe it's Maybelline.
Maybe it is Maybelline.
Maybe it's MARCBY8.
Maybe it's MARCBY8. Smelling nice and looking nice. The scoreline, not just of course in terms of this game, but the series overall 3-0, and hardly any regrets to speak of. 2 minutes 30. TEHQOZ with a challenge win. RIZEX with a shot snuffed by CARCA. MARCBY8 now resetting this from the left side, and finally a bit of breathing room but again, the air quickly leaving the room.
Good demo. But MARCBY8, he comes from the ashes, he comes from the smoke. Like a rising phoenix we see there for the goal explosion. MARCBY8, surprise attack onto net, and it's a first goal.
Panicking, suffocating, discombobulating, just cause. Is this as far as they go, boyo? Well, 2 minutes left to convince me and you otherwise.
9 goals in a row for Team 2. TEHQOZ have had 0 since that first one in game 1. And unfortunately, they cannot win as of who gets the first goal of the series. That's not really how Rocket League works. So they've got to try and score more. And SIMAS might be the man to start that play. Past one, he will go. MARCBY8 rises high. Here comes OSCILLON to try and find that passing chance. Over to CARCA, now shot onto net. Saved by MARCBY8 once again. OSCILLON rushing on through to the back where he will land, but RIZEX will disrupt. SIMAS waiting for his chance to shine, but the pass is not being made to him. He'll finally rise up and get involved, but the touch is wasteful. Throws it away to TEHQOZ, and the attack is very swiftly eliminated.
Shooting boots left at home. 10 minutes gone in the blink of an eye. Although it feels very much longer for those players wearing orange right now, because That's a long time in this game not to score. Meanwhile, it has been so much easier for Team 2. 60 seconds, not even to survive. They've just got to provide the admin to get this one over the line.
A minute to go. How many goals can they find? It's a good save by OSCILLON, but come one, come all. Is a goal best attempt, at least, coming out from Team 2. Are they going to pummel more and more onto net? Ladies and gentlemen, there's number 4. The post has got a little bit of drama. That's all the drama we're going to get this series.
Signed, sealed, delivered. No return to sender. Open the package. It's a package of joy for Team 2. They would have been expecting a much more difficult scenario ahead. You're in the semi-finals, for goodness sake, but this really is the business end, boyo. And
there's number 5. No!
Every business deal has been an absolute stinker.
Do I hear a 5? Do I hear goal number 5? Goal number 5 coming out for team number 2. It's an auction now. How many goals can they find? Reddit rising high, but will not be able to find it. Goal number 5 not going to be found. Down to the other end. SIMAS trying to find one just for fun, but it will not be connected upon. RIZEX to TEHQOZ. Back to RIZEX as well. They are styling on them in celebration because Team 2 have sent their tickets to the grand finals. Infinite money. Goal number 5. It will not be found, but the win is what's most important, and that is what they received.
Justification for Team 2. Heartbreak for SIMAS and co. And I wish I could say, boyo, that this was a scenario where it's 3 newer players, and this is the first time that they made it to the semi-final. Maybe for CARCA, but you're expecting way more from players with the quality that SIMAS and OSCILLON both hold. Was I expecting them to win this series? No, I was not. But it wasn't just a 3-0. It was a limp, lifeless 3-0 that I think, honestly, they're going to be very disappointed to go away with.
It was 10 goals to 1, and the 1 goal had no impact by the end of it.
Yeah.
It was not a close series in any regard. Team 2 have quite literally smashed their way into the grand final. And who will they be facing in the grand final, Relic? That is the question on everybody's mind.
Let's check the bracket, shall we? Let's see if we can get any closer to that answer. The answer is we don't know, because Fake SK Gaming and Gross Noobs are currently at 0-0. But it will be one of those 2 teams, boyo, and we will eventually give you the answer, folks, on the other side of this break. Or rather, boyo will, along with Spooks. I'm afraid that in the words of our French fathers, I have to bid you all adieu, but very exciting grand final ahead. And honestly, boyo, it's... Before we leave, everyone, it's difficult to see any other team apart from Team 2 taking it from here. They've been allowed to continue to grow in this bracket, and they look kind of unstoppable right now.
But Relic, quickly, before I let you go.
Okay.
We have 2 options for those finalists, Fake SK Gaming and Gross Noobs. I have 2 questions for you. First of all, who do you think we're seeing in the final? And where can our lovely viewers find that out?
Oh, well, I think for me personally, Fake SK Gaming, another Rising Stars Odyssey candidate. I think they have enough in them to get this over the line. I think they've got enough in them to really give a great account of themselves in a grand final appearance. But if you want to see that, boyo, if you want to watch that, and if you're okay with listening to French, difficult, I know. No, it's a lovely language, of course. I learned it for 5 years. And maybe you should learn some too over on twitch.tv/RocketBaguette.
Rocket Baguette, you say twitch.tv/Rocket Baguette. You know where to go. We will still be here for the grand finals to give you that lovely, beautiful Scottish accent, English casting, and Dutch person English casting. It's English at the end of the day. But go listen to the friend stream, go watch the semi-final, and we'll see you for the grand final.